probably a little bit too much.
Well, it's one of those things.
We pulled around there, and all I said when I got in the car, because I know Robbie really well, and he will race my son and respect my son, but he shows me zero respect out of what I've accomplished in my career, maybe because he wasn't through the whole era that I did. But I just hollered at him. I said, "That was crap. That was a shit move right there." And then he started doing all this taunting,
Yeah. So here's a question.
I've had so many people say that they're upset. The biggest thing they're upset is the disrespect that he showed to me about all of
sure.
I'm thinking it's funny.
All of us here, that's what we were just talking about. I just passed a note over to Corey and Joel, and I said, the next question and stuff is to ask is, after the race, you parked on the front stretch, and, his daughter came up with the trophy. You kind of went up to him. People are saying that there's two different sides of it, that you were cussing him out. Other people are asking, saying, hey, what the hell are you doing? He sat there, and the whole taunting and the whole smack talk was kind of disrespectful. I mean, you did what you did, but you don't got to sit there and rub it into somebody, because that show. I mean, regardless. If you made the move, you made the move. Okay. He says that if you wouldn't have ran into him on the backstretch, on the cool-down lap, he would have came up to you and said, hey, man, sorry for getting into you. I tried to do what I got to do to win. Do you think, from knowing him, do you think that was actually an honest statement, that if you wouldn't have ran into him on the backstretch and blew out his left rear tire and crinkled his quarter pound, do you think he'd actually come up to you and be a man and say, hey, man, this is, good race, and I'm sorry for getting into you?
I don't really think so. I don't. I've seen him do a number of things through the years, and I don't really think that went on.
Well,
I really don't.
Robbie has that gunslinger reputation in your region, and I think he really plays to it. I'm not saying he's a talented race car driver. Well, the movie made wasn't necessary, or like I said, there's not a lot of respect for that in the racing world. It wasn't something he needed to do. I think had that been your son, or had that been Clay Daly or anybody else in the modified, it might have been a different story. But here's a kid that had a shot at a legend, and I think that had some influence on it, Scott.
You know what? I think I've had a number of people instant message me and talk to me, whatever, and they made the comments. I really think of it, if you named off, Bobby Hogue and Brad and Kellen Chadwick, Alex Sanford. Some of these guys that have really been the name on the West Coast for the last 10 years, that he feels that he knows will probably beat him on a percentage side more than he will ever beat them. So he kind of respects him for whatever reason. I know he really respects Brad. He always has. I don't understand that. But and what a person said to me is, if they thought that if he felt that they're good enough and they should beat him, he would accept it. But if he feels that you shouldn't beat him, he's going to do anything he can and everything he can to beat you. And he probably didn't really think that I should be able to beat him coming back and racing 5 races after being off as long as I could.
Well,
as long as I was.
Well, you contribute.
I think it was surprising that once he did get in the second, that he wasn't able to catch me, and he wasn't able to really get to me to race with me.
Well, you contribute a lot. You talked about earlier in the program about how you kind of struggled a little bit or whatever, but now you dedicate a lot of your new setup. You talked about in your interview about you've done things to your car that you wouldn't have imagined on doing, and you dedicate a lot of that to the GRT program.
Absolutely, 100%.
So
whatever my car came with, my car, me and my daughter went to Arkansas and got it. It was a US NTS. It was a 1.5-year-old car, only had like 25 races on it, but it was a lot of suspension stuff on it was illegal. So I had to switch everything all back. And so I started following a little bit of the GRT setup, and from everything we've done, and even our cars that we have, Brad's Onyx and stuff we've done, it's really, really way out there. And I just kind of questioned. I said, well, I'm just going to go with what I know that I feel comfortable with that we run out here locally. Because even you look back at the Shaws, we ran the Sidebinders, all the Harrises, everything we've ran for a number of years, we end up putting what I know on them. And
Right.
that's just the way it is. The California area, the tracks we run on, the services, you know, end up changing around. Well, I went ahead and called, and I talked to Zach, and I actually talked to Joe at GRT, and I explained to him what I felt the car was doing. And I told him I really feel the car pogos real bad. When I do get good traction, the car, I feel like it bounces and it breaks the car loose, and then I said it's just a handful of drive. And so he started asking me questions about where I had stuff. And he told me about 5 things. Do this, do that, try this. Terry Phillips is doing this. We've got a couple guys doing this. We found something accidentally by doing a bunch of testing. I think you'd be extremely pleased with this. I said, I'm putting the whole package on it. And I told Bradley, I'm either going to go out there and I'm going to be the hero or I'm going to be zero. And, I mean, I won the heat race by half a lap. I mean, I turned the fastest lap of the whole night in my heat race, and I came in, and I was like flabbergasted. I was like blown away. I said, you know what? I really, really, really hit on something right here.
Well, it worked. I mean, that car is fast, and I wish you could see. I wish we had video in the studio so you could see the face of Joel over here, who is a crew chief on a GRT for Matthew Drager. And when you said that the stuff's real different, his eyes got big and looked at us, and he kind of gave us a wink and shook his head, like, yeah, they are. So, I think it's great. I think it's great, Scott, to see you back in the car.
I don't want to give out none of my secrets, but they might be in trouble out here now. This old man still might be.
Oh, I love it. Well, here's the thing. I'm glad you just said that, because here's the thing. I want to say 2 things here real quick. We're up against the clock. We gotta kind of move on in the program. But 2 things. We had a message come in from another driver, a late model driver here in the Northwest. I'm not going to say any names, but here's their opinion on the incident. They said, a desperate and rough move, in my opinion. A guy wanted it real bad, obviously, but that's not clean racing or a race that was earned. The win wasn't earned. I think more often than not you're going to hear that in that situation. That being said, we are just a few weeks from the Budweiser Nationals. We're going to see both of you guys down there. Josh, myself, and Mike Patterson will be calling the races down there for the Bud Nationals. We'll make sure we get to your pit area and talk with you. But what do you see, or what do you foresee happening here at the Budweiser Nationals?
You know, I've had a lot of people come to me and said, what am I going to do about whatever? I said, you know what? I'm not going to go do nothing intentional. I'm a bigger man, but I'm going to keep that in my memory bank. And it's one of those deals, you cut a guy a break, or they do you wrong, and the brakes go out the window.
So
and that's just how I'm going to be. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go out there and I'm not going to wreck my car. I'm not going to go wreck him. I'm not going to drop myself down to that. I just, chalk it up for experience, and it's one of those deals. You'll race people differently from now on, and that's just how I look at it.
Well, they say race car drivers.
And biggest thing is now I know what to expect.
Oh boy.
So this is I got last question and stuff, because before we go to commercial break, is this: if he came up to you in a sincere way and said, "Hey, Scott, man, after listening to all this, after watching it, adrenaline was running, everything else, man, I seriously want to apologize. I shouldn't have done the whole mocking thing afterwards, blah, blah, blah. Can we go out there and race side by side without having any issues?" Do you think that's going to happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you think?
That's just who I am now. I'm not. I don't want. You know what? I don't want to be in the middle of drama. And I talk to you about this, and I go on this show to kind of say my piece.
And we love you on the show.
Absolutely.
This is the most interactive the show's been.
I don't want to race that way. I don't want to be in the middle of that. I just want to come out and have fun with the kids and race a little bit and see if I still have it. If I win a race or 2, whatever, great. But I'm not going to go out there and try to prove a point to nobody. That's not at all what I'm doing. And to me, it's over with. I'm not going to go out there. I'm not going to go wrecking, because I lower myself to that standards, and then I would feel, I'd feel like crap. And I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. So, I hope it goes by the wash. I hope he's able to think about what went on and feel he doesn't have to do that, because that's the biggest thing is I want all of us to be able to race, put on a show, race door to door, get afterwards, shake hands, say that was a blast, that was good, clean, hard racing, and that's what it's all about. That's the only reason why I came back.
And I think that's what we're going to see at the Budweiser Nationals here on October 7th and 8th. And, Scott, we are looking forward to getting down there and talking with you, hanging out in your pit area a little bit. And
you're not going to punch me in my face, are you?
Josh is scared.
We got text messages here saying, "Hey, Pounds isn't really his last name. It's what his motto is."
Last thing, we got to get this thing rolling. But I'm sure that Brad is familiar with the name Mike Shank. Been around a while.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Mike sent in a text here to the studio that said, and I quote,
"This is awesome.
Josh, Scott should smack you when he sees you."
Listen, I'm just a little guy. I'm not more than a $120.
He's full of crap. He's twice that. He's 5'2".
Scott, I'm the small skinny guy. Josh is not.
Hey man, I enjoyed the conversation and the interview.
Absolutely, Scott.
Look forward to seeing you guys.
We'll see you down there, bud. Thanks again for calling in. We appreciate you.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Have a good night.
See you, buddy.
All right.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Let's do it a little bit different here tonight. I know we're up against the clock.
Well, do you want to go to a commercial break?
Let's do it. But when we come back, we're gonna have a little sit down conversation. We got another caller coming right in, so we got to make this quick.
Okay.
But for the rest of the show, we've got our good buddy Dave with Northwest Trucking Academy hanging out with us.
Speaking of Dave, we actually have his commercial too.
Absolutely.
So
you know
make
what?
sure that
While Joel and I take turns using the restroom,
Yeah?
why don't you come and talk with Dave?
All right, we'll do that, and we'll play a little bit of commercial break.
Hi, I'm Corey with my wife Sandy. We'd like to invite you to Jetstream Aqua Massage. At Jetstream, you get a quality massage, nobody touches you, and you don't get wet. Best of all, it's only $1 per minute. Come see what it's all about.
I've been coming in here about 3 times a week for the last 6 months, and it's just a whole new world when I walk out of here. I highly recommend this place. $20 for 20 minutes, unbeatable.
Crockers Cars, located in Lebanon, Oregon. We've been providing the finest pre-owned cars, trucks, SUVs, RVs since 1983. Crockers Cars has been in business for 31 years, offering quality used vehicles. With our experience and professionalism and the no-hassle buying, customers really do come first here at Crockers Cars. Crockers Cars, where quality is the difference. Give us a call, 541-258-2175, or look us up on the web, crockerscars.com, for a full line of inventory. And make sure you mention that you heard it here on Northwest Dirt News. Are you tired of low wages? Have you ever thought about getting a commercial driver's license? Then let Northwest Trucking Academy, located in Tangent, Oregon, be your source. Earn up to $800 to $1,200 a week. At Northwest Trucking Academy, our trained instructors are ready to help you make the transition towards the road. In as little as 4 weeks, you can have the skills it takes for a new career. Classes begin on the first Monday of every month, so give us a call at 541-248-3461 or look us up on the web at nwtruckingacademy.com. And make sure you let them know that you heard it right here on Northwest Dirt News. At Tommy's Transmission, professional, reliable service is more than just our tagline. It's our way of life. We're your one-stop shop. At Tommy's, we take care of you just like family because we live here, right here in your neighborhood. Fixing cars is what we do, but keeping you on the road and keeping your family safe is what we're about. No matter what you drive, at Tommy's Transmissions, we'll provide the security your family needs. At Tommy's Transmissions, where professional, reliable service is guaranteed. Remember, at Tommy's Transmission, home of the good guys, off of Baseline in Hillsboro, 503-746-7891. And make sure you let them know that you heard it right here on Northwest Dirt News.
The Cooley Station Online.
Yeah, that's us.
'Cause we play
This.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Now welcome back to the Northwest announcers, Corey Penfold and Josh Warbis.
Back in the
Northwest Dirt
Jetstream,
News.
back in
It's
the
not
jet.
done yet. What are you doing?
We're back